Hello everybody and welcome to today's Future Spouse Pick a Card reading, where we will be finding out what your future spouse is up to right now. So I want to gain some information around their current circumstances. I want to find out what their thoughts and feelings are around these circumstances, and I also want to look into what life lessons they are currently learning. I do also want to delve into your energy and find out what's going on with you on your personal journey as well. So if you want to find out these juicy details and join me in this reading, I need you to pick one of these 3 postcards. Each postcard will have a personal message for you, which I will read to open up your reading. And once you have chosen your postcard, I shall see you on the flip side. Hello pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's find out what your future spouse is up to right now. But first, I want to read you your special postcard from Spirit. I absolutely adore this deck. It is the Postcards from Spirit deck by Colette Baron Reid. And whenever I pick out one of these postcards for myself, it always acts like a big, warm, supportive hug from Spirit. So this postcard may contain some advice for you or some supportive words that you need to hear right now. So dearest you, pump up the music, bang the drums, get up and start that hustle towards your goals and dreams. There are times to be still, but this is not one of them. Now is the time to make that first move. Say yes to life, pick up the phone, make that decision, and take that one step towards the gods or us. Expect a cascade of changes, good news and opportunities to show up, as if by magic. Well, we know it's really Spirit and all of us moving things around for your benefit. The point is that we are saying, go for it. Take positive action towards your dreams, even if the outcome isn't an exact fit for your agenda. It will all be orchestrated by Spirit and arrive in divine, appropriate timing. Don't you just love how it all works? Love you so much. Only has 2 so's in there, but I decided to put in some extra so's. So it really does sound like there is something that you are halting at the moment. And I do sense that it could be through fear. It could also be through the fear of upsetting other people. And I do feel like this is quite a big move for you. Maybe this is something that you've never done before. This could be moving to a new place. This could be completely changing your career. This could be ending a relationship of some kind. Now, I definitely feel like there's a connection with overseas and travel with you at the moment as well. Now, I don't know whether one of your goals is to travel more, and maybe this is like a job or something that you feel will bring you the opportunity for more travel, or whether you are holding off traveling, or whether you're holding off like a holiday of some kind. I definitely feel that whatever this thing is, you always thought it was just always going to stay a dream and you didn't really think it was ever going to come true. Well, now it will come true. It is going to come true. And as Gabrielle says, dreams can come true. And I do think very, very strongly that this energy is coming up within this reading because it has a connection to meeting your future spouse. If you do not go for whatever this thing is, there's a good chance you're going to delay that meeting with that future spouse. And I think whatever this is, babes, it is part of your destiny. This is one of those things in life where you're starting to get the nudge. The light is starting to burn in your heart to do this thing or go for this thing. And at the moment, it's a nudge. But soon, if you do not take it, it's going to become a poke. And then it's going to become a kick. And then it's going to become a violent push. I don't know why I used the word violent there, that's very extreme, but sometimes it can be. You know I've been there many times. I'm quite a stubborn person, even when it comes to the universe. The universe has been violent to me, guys. Very violent. You will meet your future spouse on the other end of this journey, on the flip side of this journey. But you're going to meet your future spouse sooner, the sooner you take this journey. And it definitely requires some confidence. I don't know whether you grew up within a family or community where you do what's right rather than what's considered right, rephrase that. You do what's considered right rather than what feels right or what is right for you. The only example I can think of is potentially growing up in a family of accountants. Your mum was an accountant, your dad was an accountant, great-great-grandfather Fred was an accountant, and they're expecting you to be an accountant. And you have to be the one to kind of take a big gulp and say, I don't want to be an accountant. I want to travel overseas and film animals in the wild. It could be something like that. It sounds beautiful, actually. I'd love that. But anyway, so what is your future spouse up to right now? And something they have in common with you is the fact that a new beginning is on the horizon for them as well as for you. But it does already look like your future spouse has made some confidence moves recently, pushed down their boundaries when it comes to their confidence, pulled down boundaries when it comes to limitations around what they can achieve in life, because it does look like they have made some very big achievements here. Now, I'm going to be real with you. It does look like your future spouse is in a current relationship, but I'll be real with you, they're not happy. And I do think they've realised how unhappy they are within this relationship ever since their recent achievements. I think everything is starting to really fall into place for your future spouse. I think they've got, you know, enough money in the bank to invest in the home that they want. I think they've reached, like, I even want to say, I think they've reached beyond their career goals for the age that they are. And they seem to have like a really good group of friends around them. It's like everything is slotted into place. But they still feel, just like this card here, I don't know whether you can see it, there's still a piece of the jigsaw puzzle missing. There's still an emptiness there. And I think in recent times, they've looked to their romantic relationship and they're like, is it this? Is this the kink in the armour? Is this the pea underneath the mattress? You know, the princess and the pea, right? Where the princess sleeps on a mattress and she's like so uncomfortable. And then every night they put on another mattress to try and like make it more comfortable. She's still uncomfortable. And then the next thing you know, you've got mattresses all the way up into the ceiling and she's still uncomfortable. And I think it was a maid or something like that, pulled up the mattresses and said, princess, it's because there's a pea underneath the mattress. It's like no matter how many achievements they make, there's always that one little teeny, weeny pea making things very uncomfortable. I even want to say, for some of you, and it won't be for everybody, this person may have been in a, or is in an arranged marriage. And for those who that doesn't resonate, I want to say it may seem like an arranged marriage. This could have been this person's childhood sweetheart. Maybe they got together in high school or college or uni. They're the only person that each other have been with, at least properly anyway. And maybe parents on both sides are like, oh my goodness gracious, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, like you have to get a house together, you have to get engaged, you have to stay together forever. And I think your person, your future spouse, has got to the point where they're just like, this ain't the person for me. I think they've done a ton of growth and they've just grown out of this relationship. I do want to say that this person will always have a friendship with this particular person because I don't feel any malice feelings here. If anything, I feel your future spouse staying in this relationship because of expectations of others, and this is where you guys come in. You're not making this move because of expectations of others potentially, or what society expects from you. But this person's staying in this situation because of the expectations of others, what they think they should do, even the expectation of their partner. No, this person doesn't want to break anyone's heart, but they know it's time to shift, it's time to move, and this is concerning your future spouse so much. I do really feel that this relationship was a catalyst for your future spouse to achieve all the things that they've achieved in their life. I do think this partner that they have has been a very good influence on them, kept them on the straight and narrow, okay? So the thing is, like, your future spouse has like a little bit of a rebellious side coming through. And I don't think it's rebellious like in a dangerous way, you know, this person's not going to be a heartbreaker or break your heart because of some kind of rebellion. But I do think in their younger years, they may have had the tendency, this could be like a Sagittarius energy, an Aries energy here, or a Gemini energy that you're dealing with. You may also have Aries, Sagittarius and Gemini heavy in your chart as well. I want to say for some of you, you could have like a progressed Gemini sun if you were into like progressed charts. So this person, their partner, has kept them on the straight and narrow, but also it's been very fated for them to be together because it's shown, or it will show, your future spouse that they never have to settle. You do not settle. And that no matter how much material items you have around you, that isn't going to dictate your happiness. I think your future spouse is going through some kind of, I want to say a spiritual awakening, but without like the woo spirituality. You know, this isn't a spiritual awakening where they're going to start doing yoga every Sunday and flying off to Cuba to do ayahuasca It's just an awareness that they're gaining. I think they know what true love is now from knowing what it isn't. I know it's really sweet and it's making me giggle. When they see you, it's going to be love at first sight. They know instantly because their soul has now came online. So their soul is going to be magnetized to their future partner, their future spouse, the person that I want to say for you guys, that they're going to be spending the rest of their life with. And it's you. The day you walk in the room, and I do think this is going to be in person, I don't necessarily see this being online. For some of you it might be, okay? For some of you it might. If there is like a distance between you both, you know, if there is some kind of like country distance, seas in between you, it could be online for some of you, but for the majority of you, you're going to be walking in a room. And you're going to notice that they're just going to be looking at you like this, just like, you right? kind of thing. They cannot take their eyes off you. I even sense like a sarcasm with your future spouse. Now, I don't sense this being like the tallest of people. I sense your future spouse being, you know, very medium height, but being very kind of like smiley, happy-go-lucky. I sense them like having quite like spiky hair. I don't know why, like spiky hair if they're a male. If they're a female, they could have like, if they have longer hair, they could have like short layers. I don't know whether people wear layers in their hair anymore. Do they? If they do, I'm tempted to get layers myself. Look how flat my hair is. By the way, if I'm looking up here, it's because I'm looking at my viewfinder on my camera. So I need to check whether I'm in time and things like that, and that the camera's not going to go off on me. So I do apologise if I'm looking away frequently. But yeah, we could have like layers in their hair if this is a female that you're dealing with, or we could have a female here with shorter hair. But if this is a male, like there's spiky hair, or you're going to find pictures of them, I want to say in their 20s, where they had like really spiky hair. Very gelled spiky hair as well. If you find these old pictures, I don't necessarily feel like they have like loads of gel in their hair these days. This could be someone as well who has a lot of nostalgia about the days where they used to wear their hair spiky, and within the marriage you're gonna have to continually tell them like, no, like let's not do spiky anymore, like no, that was like the early 2000s, let's no. But I do sense them liking to wear bright colours as well, so you might notice that this person's going to be wearing like a bright dress or a bright jacket or a bright shirt when you first meet them. So their thoughts and feelings right now, it's sad. It's so sad for this person. Isolation and fear. And again, I think you are sharing this energy with them right now. This person is feeling isolated within their own relationship. And you know when you get to the point with people where you're like, I feel more lonely with you than I would do without you. I also think they've attempted to go to their family and even friends. There's mutual friends here with this person, the current person that they're with, but I feel like they've even gone to like friends and family, and people just don't get it. They're like, are you crazy? Like, you're willing to like let go of all of this because, you know, I think they think that your future spouse is having a little bit of a crisis, a bit of a midlife crisis if they're around that age. I don't even know what age you have to be to have a midlife crisis. I mean, I'm not the oldest of people, but I definitely feel like I've reached my midlife crisis for sure. So I don't know whether there's an age restriction to what you can call a midlife crisis. But I think people just think that this person's going to shake it off and that they're going to get back into the relationship and everything's going to be fine. Maybe they're just having a blip. No. No, no, no. And they feel isolated within their own friend circles, within their own family circles, within their own relationship. And there's fear. The thing is, your future spouse has the bravery. And they are going to leave this person. And I think they're going to leave this person pretty soon. This breakup may actually mean that this person moves overseas and decides to go for something overseas that they've potentially been offered when it comes to their career, and maybe this is why you meet overseas. Something around, and this will pertain to you as well, activity holidays. I don't know whether you've been thinking about taking a holiday this year, and you're like, oh, I want to do something a little bit different, maybe I want to do an activity holiday. Go for it. I would not be surprised if you meet this person on that activity holiday, whether they work there, or whether you meet someone who knows this person. It could be some kind of connection, some way, somehow, if you take an activity holiday. Or it could be an activity holiday where you make some new friends, where your confidence is boosted, and you have the confidence to go for this thing that you need to push for. And then obviously it leads you to your future spouse. But there's a connection here with an activity holiday as well. It is going to be different for everybody. Okay, but there is a connection here. something around activity holidays for you. Now, if you've never thought about going on an activity holiday, please, please broaden your scope. Check out what there is. Could go on a surfing holiday, could go on a skiing holiday. What else could you do? I don't know, kayaking holiday, a trek through the rainforest. Oh my gosh, that would be so wonderful. I'd love that so much. I'm an Aries, so you know I'm all for those activity holidays. But yeah, there's big stuff around that for you personally. Okay, so your person's gonna make this move. I can feel it in the energy. This is soon. This is not, you know, this person's going to be in this relationship for like another 3 years. This is soon. I need you to take the bravery that this person's going to use to leave this relationship so that you can have the bravery to go for what it is that you need to go for personally. And for you, I think it actually could be something like career. Bear in mind, if this is you leaving a relationship or leaving a town or something like that, that is valid too. But I think for a lot of you, even if it is a relationship or moving towns or moving countries, anything like that, it is going to lead to a career change, which is going to bring in your future spouse. This person here. Now, currently, their thoughts, they're looking elsewhere. They're not a dodgy mofo. They're not a dirty little sleaze. They're just open. They're open to communicating with other genders or the gender that they're interested in. They're open to flirting, and I really don't want you to take this the wrong way. This person may have never sparked a conversation with the receptionist before. And they're thinking to themselves, you know what? This is Gemini energy for you, heavy Gemini energy with this person. And they're thinking, do you know what? I'm going to spark up a conversation with Susie. I've never fancied Susie. I'm not interested in dating Susie, but I'm very interested in seeing how other females, for instance, okay, if you are a male looking for a female, if you're a male looking for a female or a female looking for a female, just flip this around, okay? It could be Bob on reception, okay? So I'm not secluding anyone here. But like, I've never fancied Susie, I've never been interested in dating Susie, I don't think I would ever date Susie, but I'm really interested in finding out how other women tick. I want to know what other women are interested in, because this person has not had a lot of experience with other women, at least not long term. So I actually think that this person is a very friendly person and chatty person anyway, extremely sociable. This is somebody who will chat you up when they're single and very openly. But they are open now to speak to maybe Jill, who works at the supermarket, whether Jill's, 30 years older than them. Because I want to see if there is really something else out there. Jill might say, oh, I love activity holidays. And then your future spouse will go, oh my God, well, my person that I've been with for the majority of my life won't go on an activity holiday, and I love activity. Do you know what I mean? It's experimentation for them. I feel like they could be reading a lot of forums or watching a lot of YouTube videos about, again, how women tick. If they're somebody who's looking for a female, they're educating themselves. But that is as far as it's going. This person has been faithful to this person. This person will always be faithful to this person as long as they're with them, and they will be blooming faithful with you too. But what they're learning right now, and this is something you need to learn as well, because we've got play, and I know this one is for both of you. You're supposed to be finding a career that feels like play, or some kind of life path that feels like play, or some kind of community where there's no pressure on you. A community where you can play more, where the relationships are easier. You're even looking for a lover where the love relationship is easy and you can play, rather than always having, and this could relate to you with a past relationship, but it's like everything's always so intense around you. And Spirit wants you to remove a lot of that intensity and go elsewhere. Go elsewhere to find the peace. Go elsewhere to find the play. Go elsewhere to find the ease. And it's the same with your future spouse. I don't think their relationship has ever been play. I think they're learning that life is supposed to be fun. There are, things that we have to do and we've got to come in and blah, blah, blah. Life always has its ups and its downs. You're never just going to have playtime all day, every day. But I think a lot of their relationship has been very intense. I feel there's been a lot of force within their relationship, and unfortunately that force has benefited your future spouse. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, your future spouse's current person owed them that for some reason. It could have even been like some kind of past life karma or debt. But now they're looking for that play. Now, I also want to throw in there for the few of you that may already have a partner and you can relate to the fact that you've been through a very intense relationship with your person. This may not be a new person. This may be your current situation flipping and the intensity melting away from the relationship and you guys going through into a brand new beginning because you're choosing to choose a lifestyle which is more playful, and I think they've had achievements currently and recently, which means that they can have more freedom to play, okay? So if you're in a current relationship and if this resonates, this is just a flip of the current relationship that you're in. But for those of you who are single, this is the current circumstance with your future spouse. They're understanding they're a completely different person to the people that the people around them perceive them to be. This could be a little bit of a midlife crisis, a teeny weeny bit of a midlife crisis, but a very, I want to say spiritual crisis, where their soul is waking up and saying, oh my goodness gracious, this is no fun. They're also understanding that the universe and the cosmic flow is pushing them into a brand new cycle, a brand new day, and they can feel this very strongly. They're learning that nothing is forever, nothing has to be forever. In society, you have to be committed. It is death do you part, until death does you part, until death do you part, whatever. You can tell I've not been married before. I don't even know the vows. But I'm even reluctant to say until death do you part for a Gemini as well. If this person's got heavy Gemini, like, I don't know, that's scary to a Gemini. Maybe marriage just came up on the cards with their current person and they're like, I don't know if I want to marry them, and then all of these feelings are going through them. Their soul is currently waking up and they're like, well, shouldn't I want to marry the person that I'm with? And what's beautiful is when they meet you, they're going to want to marry you. Oh, quickly as well. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, I sensed you standing in front of them, they're proposing to you and you being like scared because it's that quick, because this person knows it's you. But they're also very aware that marriage is play. It doesn't have to be that intense commitment that like governments and religion want to put upon you. You have the freedom to go your separate ways if you want to, and I do think this is something that you'll both share. You'll both share this element of freedom. So I'm just checking the time on the viewfinder. You'll both share this element of freedom when it comes to life. You're free to be together, you're free to be apart. And I think the thing that makes this bond so special is the fact that you do have the freedom to part ways if you want to part ways, but you never part ways. So when you don't part ways, you know that the other person definitely wants to be with you because they'd part ways if they wanted to part ways, if you know what I mean. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, right, pile number 1, that is your reading. I hope this helped in some way. If it did, please drop me a like. Please comment down below as well if you want to tell me which pile you claim. Tell me your story. Let me know if you're excited to meet your future spouse. Let me know what your favourite colour is, okay? Is it yellow? Is it the same thing as this person? Are you a Gemini? Are you Sagittarius? Are you an Aries? Are you planning an activity holiday? If you are, let me know down below. Also subscribe if you like content like this, because I love making content like this for you. And until next time, pile number 1, take care. I shall see you next time. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to your reading. Let's find out what your future spouse is up to right now. But first, I want to read you your special postcard from Spirit. I absolutely adore this deck. It is the Postcards from Spirit by Colette Baron Reed. And whenever I pull one of these cards, it always feels like a massive warm hug from the universe. So this message may contain some advice for you, or it may contain some supportive words that you need to hear right now. So dearest you, we have a secret for you. The more you think you know, the less you actually do. So if you are willing to keep an open mind, you will avoid the narrow confines of the know-it-all and open up to the unlimited potential that can be discovered only by the curious optimist. Curiosity allows you to discover new things, see the world from a different perspective, and find answers to questions you might not even know you have. Right now, whatever is going on, it's important to know that you are not aware of all the aspects of it you need to see to make an informed choice. You might be projecting a story that isn't totally true, so moving forward, your mantra could be, I don't know, or that's interesting, as you keep your mind and heart open to new experiences and a richer existence overall. All of us over here want you to be all you can be. We are cheering for you. Can you hear us? Woo! There you go. That's the spirits, the angels, your guides cheering for you right now. Now, with your energy, I'm feeling a lot of earth energy. Now, you don't have to be like an earth, sun, moon or rising. I mean, you very well could be. I think I actually could be speaking to a few of you who could actually be an earth, sun, moon and rising. I do sense some stellium energy here as well. Specifically earth stelliums, but I mean, we could be looking at any stellium whatsoever. And it's because I'm sensing, don't be offended here guys, I'm the same. I'm a mega Capricorn stellium, so I do tend to be quite blinkered when it comes to life. I tend to know only one way of doing things at one time, rather than being like, oh, but I could do a bit of this, I could do a bit of that, da 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 da. I feel like stelliums really do make you that way. Stelliums sometimes don't make you see out of the box, and there can be people who have stelliums who are highly creative, and I do class myself as one of those, so I do know that I do have the ability to see out of the box, but sometimes I need a little bit of a nudge too. It's not always an automatic thing for me. I don't always colour outside of the lines, and I do think there's something going on in your life at the moment where you may be feeling very stale where you are. Could be a staleness when it comes to relationships and dating. It could be a staleness when it comes to friendships. Could be a staleness when it comes to a career of some kind. I do think I could be speaking to some people who do have their own business as well, and maybe something's happened around the business where either it's not taking off or it's just kind of sitting stale at the moment, and it's like, I'm ready to move to the next level, but for some reason the energy isn't ready for me to move to the next level. So something around you needing to be more open-minded. And I'm going to use the word, and I can relate to this as well, stubborn. This is the path that I'm going on. This is the plan that I've written down for myself. It's this way or no way at all. I've been there. With some things, I think I am there, okay? So please don't think I'm criticising anyone here. But sometimes in life, all Spirit needs you to do is be stubborn to surrender. Stubborn to the fact that if you just let go and you say, look, do what you will with this business, if it is a business that you're dealing with, or if it's a relationship, do what you will with this relationship. If it needs to end, let it end. If it needs to progress in some way, show me how to make it progress. And see what happens, and just surrender to life. And it's probably one of the most difficult things for many people to do. But when you surrender, everything is going to start falling into place. And what you'll probably find is the things that fall into place are things that you didn't expect would ever be part of your existence. And you find out in those moments that that is more aligned with you than what you were being stubborn about. And then you thank the Lord for those blessings. But it's very difficult to surrender, but I really do feel that Spirit is asking you to surrender at this moment. There is something you are not seeing. Something around movement as well. This could be movement when it comes to your perspective rather than actual physical movement, but for some of you, it may be moving out of a stale place, moving out of a home that doesn't inspire you, or redecorating a home that is a bit lackluster because you don't realise that your home is your creative centre. If you're not happy in the home that you're in, you're not going to be clear-minded enough to make the right decisions. There's also something about perspectives. Switch your perspective. And I feel a little bit irritated saying this. So I don't know whether people watching this are feeling irritated. Like, how do you switch your perspective when you're somebody who only has one perspective? And I understand this fully. I've had private readings before from psychics, and I have ancestors come through who say, look at it from a different angle, or step back and look at it at a broader scale, especially when it comes to love, for me. And I'm like, what do you do if you can't? Or you just try, or you surrender and you stop trying so hard. That's another big thing. There could be something you're not achieving because you're trying too hard, and what you don't realise is you're actually making the energy very dense. And nothing can move when the energy is dense, or if you just lay back and trust that you've got this ish anyway, things will flow, things will move. I have to do it myself with some readings. I'm sorry, I'm giving so many examples of myself today. Some days, you know, I'm all good to flow, okay? Something's probably going on in my astrological chart. I've probably got like a really nice Venus transit going on, and I'm just like, whoa, everything's just going my way. And then there's some days where it can take me about half an hour to do an intro. And this is when I'm probably having some kind of Saturn transit in my astrological chart, and it's highlighting all that Capricorn in my chart. And I'm like, for the life of me, why can I not even get my words out, even though I know exactly what I need to say to start this reading? And sometimes it just requires me to take a deep breath in and breathe out and just be free and flow. Move your arms around more. If you ever see me, okay, you don't see my face on videos very often, but sometimes in some videos you'll see me very uptight. Sometimes in videos, well, you won't see me uptight, that's a lie. But in some videos, you'll see me bouncing from side to side, arms up, arms down, wow, facial expressions. And those are the days where I have to tell myself, let go, let loose. You're tense for no reason. As soon as I start flying these arms around, bitch, I'm on a roll. So that may be some advice here for you as well. So what is your future spouse up to right now? I've got behind a mask and creative endeavour. It does look like your future spouse has some kind of talent. I do actually sense your future spouse moving from the corporate world into something that's more solitary. I do sense a very strong solitary energy with your future spouse at the moment. Now, I don't know whether they've had a big, massive change of perspective, because the thing is, you and your future spouse are going to be in a partnership. You're going to be a couple. You are going to mirror each other in some way. It's just the way the universe works, okay? I don't make the rules. It's just the way it works. So there will be a very similar energy between you both, but it's most probably going to play out in different ways. And in some circumstances, it may actually play out in the same way. But I haven't seen those very often. Normally, there seems to be some kind of circumstance different, some kind of different circumstance, but the same energy at the core. And then if it's the same thing that you're going through, I've always found you tend to have like a gap or disjointment when it comes to the years that you go through it. So maybe your person went through it like 6 years before you did, but you go through the same thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Probably doesn't matter that much, but behind a mask and creative endeavour, now it looks like your person has been holding back some kind of talent, something that they've been working on for a very long time. And I do think it's been a bit of a, I want to say they've been through like a dark night of the soul that's kind of pushed them into a F it, things can't get any worse kind of attitude. And I'm going to say there's a stubbornness when it comes to your future spouse. You may both share Taurus energy, Venus energy, okay, so Taurus and Libra there, okay, they're the two Venus ruled signs. Got some Cancer energy here as well. Cancers do tend to be very stubborn, okay, they can have stubborn traits. They're going through a very deep transformation that is completely changing their outlook on life and their trajectory. They thought things were going to be one way. It turns out they're going in a completely different direction. And I do think your future spouse at the moment is in a bit of an uncomfortable situation where they're just trying to find their feet with this. It definitely looks like they're going solo. It definitely looks like they're in an energy where they're not usually alone this much. It does make me think that they're doing something from home at the moment. Definitely with this expectations card here, where this woman is looking out of the window in her home. I feel like your future spouse at the moment will be looking up at the stars, looking out of their window when they're working on whatever this creative endeavour is, and just thinking, what is this life all about? Howling to the moon, ow, ow, help. They're also doing something online as well. They're having to build a brand new online community for some reason. Now, for some reason, I'm getting like media here, graphic design. This could be a photographer, a musician, an artist of some kind, graphic design, graphic artist. I even think they're thinking about writing their own book as well. This is going to be one of those people, okay? Probably for most of you, may not be for all of you, but this could well be one of those people that have a story to tell. They came out of the corporate world, they did something creative, they did it in a new and influential way, and you'll see them on podcasts talking about this kind of thing. Podcast is coming up very strongly here, so I don't know whether they want to start their own podcast. And do you know what? I think that's something maybe you'll come into their life and suggest. Something around podcasts or YouTube or something along those lines to kind of push themselves out there a little bit more. There's definitely like a little bit of a confidence issue here. And something I want to throw out for both of you. Sometimes we are so fixated on the current, so stubborn on our ideas and our plans for what we have for ourselves, because we're too scared to go out of that plan. They were too scared. This is a message from spirit, okay? I'm just trying to decipher it. Sometimes we stick stubbornly to our plans because we are too scared to go beyond that plan. Sometimes it's not because we are fixated on that plan. Sometimes it's not because we want that thing from our soul. It's because we're too scared to actually go for that thing that our soul wants. And I think for some people that's really hard to hear. It's really hard for me to hear too, you know. Shall I tell you a little story? I'll tell you a little story. I won't keep you for long with it. So when I was younger, I loved to be seen. I loved to be heard. I was a very confident child, as far as I'm aware. But I used to have dreams of being on stage. I remember I had this like little something that looked like a stage in my garden growing up, and I'd stand on there and I'd sing, I'd dance, I'd act. And especially when I used to play teachers. I used to love playing teachers, one of my favourite games to play. And I would be in my little bedroom and I would be bringing imaginary people in. And then there'd be somebody saying, it's full capacity, you can't have any more people in this room. And I'd say, get more people in because they need to hear what I have to say. So before I drowned in confidence issues, before people projected their own SHIT on me, before people called me ugly, before people called me slow, before people called me boring, I've been called a plant pot before. I'll never forget that. I was 16, I'll never forget it. She's as interesting as a plant pot. Before all of that crap, I wanted to be heard, I wanted to be seen because I felt like I could be an influence in some way. Now that energy lay dormant up until about 4 months ago. Yeah, I know, about 4 months ago, maybe even less than 4 months ago. And I was on this course called the FYP course with Aaron Doughty, Victor Otto and Matt Shafar. I believe that's his name. Hadn't heard of Matt before the course, and he's a pretty phenomenal guy. And during this course, they took us through meditations. The meditations were amazing, by the way. They took us through meditations. They took us through somatic breathing, which is something I highly recommend, and a couple of other exercises. And during these exercises, the main thing that came through, see, I thought it was going to be my relationship status. I thought it was going to be my family issues, but no, it was my confidence. And when they were telling me to visualize who I'm going to be in 5 years' time, what I saw was a shock. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because you don't need to hear about it, but it was somewhere completely different to where I thought I'd be. And it was someone who had bashed through every single confidence barrier that I have. And I was like, damn, I've got a lot of work to do when it comes to my insecurities and my confidence. But the happiness I saw in that future self, wow. It was a feeling God liked to feel. And then when I realised that, that's when I went back in time and realised everything I wanted as a child, to be seen, to be heard, to be an influence of some kind. And then it all made sense. And the reason I never discovered that before that course, before those meditations, was because I have always been too scared to move off the plan, to move off the path that I've created myself. When in reality, I thought I was being sensible. I thought I was being determined by sticking on those paths. But no, I was just scared. So I hope that story helped in some way. Now, back to your future spouse. Currently, they are in an energy where they are being inspired, but they are also having a lot of confidence blocks, a lot of insecurities, a lot of triggers. Now, I'm going to say your future spouse is not ready to meet you right now. Your future spouse needs to get this ish in check before they meet you. Your future spouse is going to go through a major death and rebirth process. Now, what I want to say about your future spouse is that this is necessary for them, because they were a cocky little bugger before. I can feel it. They were an SHIT. They'll probably tell you stories of this. You know, when I was younger, I made this mistake, I did that. You know, they might even tell you about things like where they spent like a night in the cells, Or they may even like to fight. There's something around like liking a little bit of a brawl here, okay? This could be male or female, you know, we all know women who like a little brawl. I'm an Aries sometimes, you know, I don't fight. I've never had a fight in my life. Dear Lord, touch wood, let's hope I don't have a fight anytime soon. I don't think I could take it. But, you know, if I was a man, when I was younger, I'd probably have a few fights, I'll be real with you, because, you know, sometimes you have to let out that anger. I don't know whether your future spouse is an Aries or has some strong Aries. They give me like I've made a lot of mistakes kind of energy, but the great thing about that is the wisdom that they're going to gain. And this is why they're going to be invited onto things like podcasts, or why potentially you're going to be the one who says like, hey, why don't you start a podcast? Why don't you start a YouTube channel? Because they've got a talent, but they've got like knowledge beyond that talent as well, wisdom beyond that talent. They're a personality within themselves. They don't need to hang on to their talent to be a personality. You know, their talent isn't the main star of the show, they're the main star of the show. Their talent is just something that they can make money from. And what they're learning about themselves right now is they're being real with themselves about their limiting beliefs. They're being real with themselves about their insecurities. Where before, when an insecurity would arise, they'd run away from it. When an insecurity would arise, they'd blame other people for it. Is this Virgo energy as well? We've got some heavy earth here for both of you. You could have some Aries as well, bear that in mind. But they blame other people when a trigger arises, rather than going to the drawing board and looking within themselves. Most of the time, a lot of our limiting beliefs and a lot of our triggers have been caused by someone else at some point, but I think we tend to look at the person that we're closest to at the time and think it's them, when really it could have been Bob in nursery when you guys were like 2.5 years old. They're also understanding that they're going to have some boundaries around their money if they want to go into this new phase of their life, this new career, which is going to be more creative but more in line with them. The boundaries and money here. It does make me think they earn a lot of money where they're at the moment, and they're kind of using the money that they've gained from that career, and they're going to be investing it and living off it for a little while, where they start up this lone business, this self-employed status. Look out for someone who's self-employed for sure. Now I really do get a very like dark and mysterious physical appearance when it comes to your future spouse. I feel like their hair might be darker, I feel like their eyes might be darker, they may even be like blonde with dark eyes, you know. It's a bit rare, it's very Britney Spears, it's very my son, my 5-year-old son. Blonde hair, dark eyes, you don't see it very often. But there's something around their eyes being very dark, but I do think they could actually have darker hair as well, so look out for that. They could have like more of a darker skin tone. I do sense an energy where they've moved around a lot as well. So even if they are like Caucasian, they may have spent time in a lot of hotter countries and gained like a very natural tan. There's something a little bit darker about their skin tone. This is somebody who has dreams and goals to kind of live on their own island. When you meet this person, you may realise that they want to live on their own island. I definitely feel your future spouse would not be your the person that your future spouse was or is transitioning away from would be your type. You currently would be your future spouse's type if they were in that past phase of their life. Something very materialistic about you both. Please don't be offended. It might be all that earth energy, okay? Or it might be a very flashy stallion. It could be a Leo stallion. Oh my gosh, the things I do for a Leo stallion. Oh my gosh, that. But either way, flashy, materialistic, got your SHIT together kind of energy. You're both having to make these shifts and these moves on your own, because if you met now, you would both stay in this particular energy. The energy of, well, we've got enough money, you know, we're living the life that's right, aren't we? We've got the car, we've got the house, we've got the money, we've got the good jobs. But you never shift into those places where your true happiness is. And I want to say, if you met each other now, you just wouldn't stay together in those circumstances. There'd be two people who weren't truly happy with their lives. So having the F, could you be happy with each other? But you're both having to make these transitions separately. So if one of you makes a transition before the other person makes a transition, you're not going to be attracted to each other, to one another. You'll say, oh my God, they're fit. Like, oh my God, they're gorgeous. But their lifestyle isn't exactly right. For instance, if they make the move first, they're going to look at your lifestyle and be like, well, that was the old me. they make the move first and you meet them, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know about that person, because they're basically, like, they're winging life, basically, or what it seems like. They won't always be winging life. They're going to make it work. Just like whatever you've got coming next, you're going to make it work. But when you both make this transition, you're going to meet, and you're both going to have a story to tell. You're both going to be able to relate on that story. You're both going to mirror that story. And you're both going to realise in that moment, oh my gosh. There's a lot to learn from one another within this connection, for sure, when you guys do meet. And I want to say, you'll speed up the process. The sooner you start listening to your soul, your heart, the universe, the sooner you start surrendering to what the universe has in store with you, for you, for you. As soon as you start surrendering to what the universe has for you, you're going to start bringing this person in. But the longer you stick rigidly to a path and ignore the universe's signs, this person is going to be halted. This person is going to be delayed. New connections for your future spouse. They are making so many new connections here. Connected, community. They're starting afresh, completely. I do think that you're going to meet your future spouse online. I think you're going to see them online. They're going to inspire you. I definitely think you're going to find them hella attractive as well. But I think you might actually be at a phase in your life when you see them online where you communicate with them, not really expecting like a date or anything romantic. You know, you think they're attractive. But I think you actually might, or vice versa, okay? Because this is a collective reading, it'll be different for everyone. But I think you might contact them for some advice or with some appreciation over something that they've created. Advice has come out very, very strongly for me. And it's then where you get chatting and you discover that you actually have a rapport, and this connection develops into a connection where it's like, hey, why don't we meet and I give you some advice? Why don't we have a phone call and we give each other advice? And it goes from there. But look out for a creative online that you're inspired by, because it could well be this person. This person could be quite well known by the time you meet them. But if they're not well known by the time you meet them, they are going to be very well known in their field. This is somebody who achieves. This is somebody who you probably consider quite lucky. You know, they start an endeavour and they always make it work. But this is a very big turning point for them where they're having to make a big leap. And it is scary because it is going to affect their finances in the short term. So, yeah. I'm going to leave that there, pile number 2. I really hope this helped in some way. If you did like this reading, please drop me a like. And if you want to let me know which pile you claim, or you want to tell me what your favourite number is, what's your lucky number? Tell me what your lucky number is. Or just give me your life story down below. I absolutely love reading your comments. They really do make my day. And also, if you do like content like this, please subscribe, because I absolutely love making content like this for you and I want to make more of it. And the more subscriptions I get, the more I can make it. That's all for just for whatever we're doing it. So pile number 2. I appreciate you, sending you tons of love. Take care of yourselves and I shall see you next time. Goodbye. Hello there, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what your future spouse is up to right now. But first, I want to read you your special postcard from Spirit. This card comes from an amazing deck that I highly recommend. It is the Postcards from Spirit by Colette Baron Reid, and whenever I pull one of these cards, it is like a humongous, big, warm, supportive hug from the universe. So this message may contain some advice for you, or it may be some words that you just need to hear right now. So dear you, oh my, things are stirred up and changes upon you. This is cause for celebration. No need to be nervous, but know that it's okay to be afraid when faced with the uncertainties of life. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, rather in spite of it or even because of it. Step into the unknown now. Let go of the branch you are clinging onto, and let Spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally. Leave the rest up to us. There's a load of miracles being shipped your way. Remember what philosopher Remember what philosopher Joseph Campbell said, take one step towards the gods and they will take 10 towards you. We are all doing the destiny cha-cha on your behalf. That's right, don't be afraid to dance. Loving you always. So you may be in the midst of chaos at the moment in your life, and whenever things get chaotic, it means that there's a big change on the horizon. It means that there are going to be better things on the other side of that change. But whenever we are going through these chaotic times, the more we fight against the chaos, the more we get stuck within the chaos. Whereas sometimes when we just surrender and let go, we move into that new phase of life that the universe wants us to take. When we think about change in numerology, we do look at the number 5, okay? And number 5 comes smack bang in the middle of the numerological numbers, because you are going from the elementary stages into the advanced stages. So you really are leveling up at the moment, but sometimes when we're in these moments of chaos, it feels like we're leveling down. So for you, I can definitely see that you are being urged into a direction at the moment that is going to be more stable, and it's going to be long-standing. Now I'm seeing career and finances here. I'm also seeing like home here as well. I don't know whether some of you are on the verge of purchasing your first home, or purchasing a new home, or moving home. There will be some people here who are looking at moving overseas, or maybe you're taking one big move and there's like a lot of logistics that come with it. Or it may be some of you that are being urged to move overseas, but you're halting it because of these like logistics that have to take place for that to happen. You're like, oh God, it's just a little bit too much right now. But as you stay stuck and as you stay still in the place that you are, that's when the chaos is really building, and you're finding that the universe is really starting to like push you out of your comfort zone, or out of whatever situation you are currently in now. Now I could be looking at a Taurus here, so you could be a Taurus, you could be a Capricorn, you could be a Sagittarius. Okay, those are the 3 signs I'm getting. We could also be looking at those signs for your future spouse as well. Heavy Aries for your future spouse, actually. Could be looking at an Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter for your future spouse. I definitely sense like an Aries Venus with your future spouse. It doesn't have to be, but that's coming up really strongly. There's something about your future spouse's kind of like guts. The way I said it sounded weird, but like there's something, the dream's coming to my mind. There's something about a big dog. I don't know whether your future spouse has a big dog. I think some of you may know your future spouse already. There's something around a big dog here. So when you meet your future spouse, you may find out that they like big dogs. Maybe they own a big dog. Maybe you have a big dog. Something about a big dog here, and walking this big dog in like a community, through a community centre, but there's like, it looks like or like a marketplace. Sorry, this might make sense, or it may not make any sense whatsoever. But it's like a marketplace with like cafes and stuff, and it's under like shelter, but then like the external wall is open and it's all outdoors. Dogs here big time anyway. You could be a Chinese year of the dog. They could be a Chinese year of the dog. As I was saying, you like their bravery. You're attracted to their like guts. You're attracted to the it just sounds weirder and weirder every time I say it. You're attracted to their bravery. This is definitely someone who works out a lot, by the way. Your future spouse works out a hell of a lot. They're somebody who's very big built, whether they're masculine or feminine. Okay, if this is a feminine, this is someone who works out. This could be even somebody who competes when it comes to like body weight lifting, weightlifting. There's maybe something about you as well. Your self-esteem is coming up. Something around your self-esteem. You're a stunningly beautiful person, by the way, inside and out. But there's something around your self-esteem on the outside. I don't know whether you're looking to change something. Maybe you're looking to have some like cosmetic surgery, or go in for some like Botox or something like that, because maybe maybe you're of a time in your life where you're like, do you know what, like I could do with having a couple of these wrinkles ironed out or whatever. But it feels like you're trying to change your appearance in some way. It could be fitness as well. I want to say for some of you, it could be as simple as yoga. Yoga would be really beneficial for you. Something around yoga retreats as well. If you're feeling a little bit lackluster, you're feeling like you need a break, but you're also feeling like you can't do an all-inclusive because you're going to eat too much and then you're going to just feel like absolute crap when you get home, yoga retreat, give it a go. If anyone's ever been to a yoga retreat before, I haven't, but I really do plan on doing it, hopefully either by the end of this year or next year. Let me know what it's like down below. Let me know if you recommend a certain place or certain particular retreat. Love to hear it, please. Okay. But there's something around you needing to be reminded that you are stunning, you are gorgeous. I don't know whether I'm talking to people who've been single for a very long time, or I'm talking to people who have always been single. These are people for this pile where maybe it's been a while since somebody told you were beautiful, or maybe it's been a while since you've noticeably had attention from, you know, the gender that you're interested in. Maybe for some of you, you're a bit older now. Okay, you may have felt like you're past it. Oh no, me and dating? No, I'm past it. You're not. You're really not. Because you could have Saturn transiting your second house at the moment, or Saturn transiting your fifth house at the moment, or Saturn transiting your Venus at the moment. Maybe you've got a Venus in Pisces and you've got a Saturn transit to your Venus currently. Or maybe you just came out of a Saturn transit to your Venus with Venus in Aquarius. There's something around you not seeing reality when you look into the mirror. I think your message has a lot to do with dating in general for some of you. Some of you may be in a relationship now and you're too worried to leave the relationship because you think, oh my God, like, I don't have the confidence to date again. I feel you there. Big time. Big time. It's scary. It's really hard at times to love yourself if somebody hasn't shown you love. And that makes me really sad to say that. Make sure next time you go out, put on that little low cut crop. I've literally just bought a whole new wardrobe of clothes. Crazy, I know. But this Leo Venus, it's got me reconnecting with my inner feminine. Where for the past 5 years, I've been wearing baggy clothes. You might see me in a pretty top on this channel. Believe me, those pretty tops are reserved for this channel, but no more. I'm no longer going to believe the narrative that somebody else has projected onto me. And it's the same for you. If you are somebody who's having like self-esteem issues, if you are somebody who's, you know, a little bit fearful about getting yourself back out there socially or getting yourself back out there in the dating realms, yes, it's a scary place to date. Again, yes, you know, it's savage out there, but just go out there knowing like it ain't you, it's them. You know, if someone's not into you, it ain't you, it's them. If someone's not into you, it may just be because they're intimidated by your beauty. Maybe you're too much for them. Now, how many times do we get rejected because really, in reality, we're too much for that person? You know, they won't tell us. They won't tell us that we're too much for them, but it happens. You know, Beyonce's a bit too much for Jay-Z. She says it in her Lemonade song. Is it Lemonade? We just gotta let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, baby. Hey, baby, who the fuck do you think I am? Do you know that song? I don't know the name of it. I love it, but I don't know the name of it. Okay, let's get to your future spouse. Your future spouse, it definitely looks like they are purchasing their own home. So I don't know whether you're both getting onto the property market. I don't know whether property is going to be a connection between you both. Maybe you'll flip properties. There's other things you can do with properties these days regarding investments, but I don't know. Maybe I should research things like that if I want to make more money, but I don't know. There's something around them purchasing a home, either to live in or a home to rent out. Now, something that's really unfortunate for your future spouse and something they're going through currently is it does look like they have lost a loved one. Now, we're looking at a main female in their life that they have currently lost, and this could be their mother, this could be their grandmother. If it's their grandmother, I do want to say this grandmother acted like a mother for this person. Whoever this female is, it was the main woman in their life. And I do think they're really feeling that void. Now, your future spouse is a hard nut. I also want to say, fit AF as well. Good looking person, but they're tough, they're hard. I think there's many people around them that have never seen them upset, that I've never seen them stressed out. And unfortunately, it looks like they're going through this loss of a main female in their life, and they're having to do it very bravely. And I do think they're making a lot of investments at the moment because they're trying to deter their attention away from this loss. Now, I do also think for some of you, this person will have recently had some inheritance, or there may have been a home passed down to them from this main female. They are somebody who can avoid their emotions. They can avoid their emotions by having a good time, by working. They are a bit of a workaholic. They are someone that when you meet them, you probably will have to kind of crack open that shell to get into their emotions. Could be looking at some Cancer energy here for your future spouse. Virgo energy as well. Now, your future spouse has skin as smooth as a baby's bum, is what I want to say here. Like, very smooth, beautiful skin. This person is probably going to be one of the most stunning people you've ever seen. Let's put it that way. But the thing is, right, remember, you're stunning too. You're absolutely and utterly gorgeous and beautiful. You're an absolute wonderful match when it comes to your physical appearances, and obviously you're a great match when it comes to your inner selves as well. You may find that your future spouse has very light eyes. They could have like grey eyes, like grey silver eyes. My stepdad had, has, you know, he's not deceased. My stepdad has grey silver eyes and they're stunning. Could have green eyes, could have very light blue eyes, or they could be of a darker skin tone but with like slightly lighter eyes, even if it's like hazel eyes. There's just something very noticeable about their eyes, but I think it makes them very intimidating as well. I think a lot of people actually look at your future spouse as an SEX symbol. Okay, I don't know whether they're a well-known SEX symbol for some of you, but if they're not like a well-known SEX symbol, they will be within their community. But I think a lot of the time, this is why people don't understand. You know, it's disgusting, to be honest, because, and I think you've been through this yourself, and I think this is why this is coming up, but I think your future spouse hasn't been like treated like a human. And not in a bad way, not in a way like you're SHIT on my shoe kind of thing. It's more in a different way. It's more people look up to them, but they're always kind of like, oh my gosh, part number 3's future spouse, you're so amazing, you know, you're so good looking. And I think your future spouse is kind of just like, what about my feelings? What about you asking me or complimenting me on my personality, or complimenting me on something that means something to me, rather than just complimenting me on my physical appearance or my body or my tattoos, which is something I'm going to get to very, very soon. So I think they've been treated inhumanely in their own little way, and I think this is why they've had this loss. You know, they've had this loss of a loved one, but they don't necessarily have anyone who's truly there to be a shoulder to cry on. It's like your future spouse has to always keep face for some reason. I don't know whether they actually are, you know, someone of fame, someone that people know very well. Like the show must go on is what I'm hearing right now, whether this be like an actual show or whether this be, you know, just generally like the show of life. But they always have to go through what they go through on their own. Now, I do sense a sister with your future spouse. There's a lot of jealousy with your future spouse's sister. Just beware of that when you meet your future spouse, because she may not be the easiest to connect with or get on with. And in that case, again, it ain't you, it's them. It's just like what I said about the dating game. It ain't you, it's them. But I think because of this loss of this very prominent female in their life, they're currently manifesting their true love. They've got space now for another woman. And it does remind me of Will Smith in iRobot, when he goes to see his grandma, and I can't remember what her name is. And I'm sure there's like a line where he's like, you're the only woman for me, what do you want about grandma? And she's like, oh. It's like that kind of energy with your future spouse. Like, they didn't really have any room for another female in their life. You know, they had their woman. But your future spouse adored this person to the point where even relationships would come second. They could never have like a more authentic, true and pure love for anybody as they did this main female who they've lost. And now they can feel the void, and I'll be real with you, they want to fill the void. But they don't want to do it in a healthy way. You know, they could be dating right now. I don't necessarily see... They could be dating right now. Okay, they could be. But they're not going to settle for anyone who doesn't have that pure... who they can't have that pure connection with. So they're looking for a very, very specific person. Now, also look out for tattoos with your future spouse. There is a very prominent chest tattoo with your future spouse that you need to look out for. Very, very defined cheekbones. Now, I have a feeling at the moment they're just surrendering to anything that life has for them. They're just kind of out of it, I want to say. They have to surrender to the fact that their loved one's been taken away from them. But it's also making them delve into a more kind of spiritual mindset. They're having to be able to surrender to death It's like they were a protector for this main female as your future spouse became older. This female would have been a very strong protector to your future spouse at one point, maybe even in a way where it was quite traumatic. You know, if this is a grandmother, for instance, this grandmother could have taken your future spouse away and cared for them because no one else would. So your future spouse, that's just an example, doesn't have to be that exact example, but your future spouse had a duty to care for this woman who they've lost because of this past kindness that this woman had for them. But even though this main female has deceased, or is left, or is not here anymore, in whatever capacity, it's like they still feel like they need to protect that soul. So I think they're actually looking into things like near-death experiences, where do you go beyond the physical? You know, when you leave the physical plane, where do you go? What are ghosts? What are spirits? Who is God? And I think they're doing a lot of discovery and having a lot of discovery and finding a lot of comfort in that type of research at the moment. At the same time, they are getting their ish together when it comes to career. They're really standing up. They're becoming their own boss. They're being very creative. They're getting out there and they're trying new things when it comes to career. They're expanding their horizons when it comes to their career. Now, there could be a bit of a business connection between you two. You could meet through business connections. For some of you, I even want to say that you may live in one of their properties. They may be your landlord. Not for everyone, for some of you. You could even meet when it comes to some kind of like group, some kind of course of some kind. But I see a connection through something that is either like a hobby or educational. For some of you, this may be an online course and you guys decide to add each other after. You're going to have a lot of confidence and believe in yourself when this person comes into your life, because I think this person's the kind of person to make you feel nervous because they're so attractive and they're so intimidating by nature, but they're as soft as their baby smooth skin underneath it all. Going back to the postcard and your personal message, it did say something about don't be afraid to dance. Maybe dancing is something you'll have in common. Maybe if you fancy going out and going dancing, you're going to meet this person. Maybe you'll join like a dance group and meet this person. Maybe this person is a personal trainer, and maybe there's classes at their gym which is dance incorporated. Okay, there's something about fitness. I said you guys could be changing something about your body. It could be a fitness regime and you meet this person that way. And their side hustle is property. Look out for that. Look out for a SE person at the gym. Right. What they're learning at the moment, I think on their journey of research in the spiritual, the beyond realms, I think they've got a little bit caught up in the twin flame kind of hype. I think they may be watching content about twin flames. Now, I do feel like their spiritual journey is quite elementary. You're further on when it comes to that. Like when you meet them, you can actually explain a lot of these concepts to them. But they're like in those twin flame realms. We've all been there. The first time we've heard about twin flames, I mean, as soon as you enter the spiritual community, you're going to hear about twin flames. It's rife. And I think these days, we're kind of going beyond twin flames. I think a lot of people don't believe in twin flames. I still believe in twin flames. I'm going to be real with you. I still do. I still believe that I'm in a twin flame union myself. You can't tell me otherwise just yet. But I am somebody who can change my mind. So, hold the phone. Hold the line. Dun, 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 dun. Love isn't always on time. No, no, no. Okay, why is that coming up? Hold the line. Love isn't always on time. I think you're going to meet this person. I did say at the start of this reading that some of you may already know this person. Oh no. I'm recognizing this energy. And this energy has came up in a lot of my readings. I'm not going to tell you which pile, because I feel if I do, I'm going to give the game away. This is a regular energy that I pick up on this channel. It's not a bad thing. I say, oh no, it's just more shock. You're going to meet this person, and it's going to take a while until you even get to the realms of romance. Some of you may already know this person. Some of you may know this person and have no idea who this person is going to be to you yet. Maybe somebody that you think's attractive, but it may not be somebody that you ever thought you'd be with. Looks like it's going to happen. So yeah, this person is currently being very curious about spirituality, the deeper meaning of life. And this loss that they've unfortunately had has pushed them to know themselves on a deeper soul level. And they're starting to realise the synchronicities. Because they do say, once you look into the paranormal looks right back at you. Once you look into the spiritual looks right back at you. As soon as you enter those researching realms of spirituality or the paranormal-ish starts happening around you. Whether that be actual paranormal things or whether that be synchronicities, and very strong synchronicities at that. This person is in a phase where they're learning to love the beauty of life beyond the physical appearances, beyond the material, even beyond the relationships that they have. And I think a very strong thing about this is the fact that this person doesn't want to disconnect from this person who's unfortunately most probably passed or left, but most probably passed for most of you. So they want to learn how to keep that line between the physical and the spiritual so that they can still feel that warming and supportive presence from the person who has left their lives. But they're finding a lot more than that whilst they're trying this, whilst they're doing this, while they're experimenting this. I think they're going to see in you what they're discovering about themselves. I don't know whether you've ever been in a group of like very, I want to say 3D people. I don't really like using the term 3D because it sounds like we're segregating people. Like, you're 3D, I'm 12D. I don't know what D I am. I remember having this like conversation with my mum, and she was like, well, I think there's something like, I think I'm 8D or I think I'm 9D or something like that. And then my partner at the time, she was like, yeah, she was pulling cards and she was like, yeah, he's 9D as well. And she pulled cards about me. She's like, you're only 5D. And I was just like, I'm the one who's a bloody reader here. I'm the most psychic out of all of you, you cheeky arse. But yeah, I don't know what D I am. I don't know. I don't really look into that side of spirituality anymore. Doesn't mean I don't believe in it. I just don't look into it anymore. But you know, when you're in a room with a bunch of, you know, regular people who are more like material based, and then there's somebody in that group and you're like, you're one of me. You can tell by the words they use, the way they dance around tricky subjects, the way they try and go deeper but pull it back, and you're like, you're one of me. And in that moment, it's like finding your long lost brother or sister. That's what it's going to be like when you meet this person. Could be in a fitness class. If this person is a personal trainer, it could be on a course where you're learning about investment or home investment when it comes to property. And you're like, you're one of me. And then it just goes from there. But this is a situation that can't be pushed. And it will unfold with divine timing. So you just got to trust. But let me tell you, upon number 3, your person is it. Oh God, they're gorgeous. Kind of person everyone wants to be with. Have confidence to give this person the eye as well. Have confidence when you see this person and you find them attractive to give them a little smile and kind of show them in some kind of way, even if it's quite passive, that you do find them attractive. Because this person's very distracted at the moment. They're very professional as well. So if you are on a course with them, you know, they'll be like, this person's came on the course to learn, not to have me chat them up, or this person's came to this gym or my gym or whatever as a customer, not for me to chat them up, okay? There's something very reserved, but also something very professional about them as well. So if you do notice this person, do you know what, in general, for you, part number 3, and I was actually inspired by someone, a viewer who commented on one of my videos recently where they said, I never used to like ask people out, but now I think F it, sorry if I butcher it if you are watching this, but now I think F it, and I ask out people that I want to ask out now. And I thought, you know what, that is bloody inspirational. That is bloody inspirational. You know, why in the hell not? If we fancy someone, why do we hold back? Why do we run away? Let's ask them out. Let's give them a sign. If you're interested in someone, just show them a sign, even if it's just a smile. And if you want to go all the way, ask them out. Anyway, I've just blabbed on for quite a while, guys. So I am going to end the reading here. I really hope you enjoyed this reading in some way. I hope it was informative in some way. If you did like the reading, drop me a like. If you want to comment down below, let me know which pile you claim. Let me know whether you actually know this person. Let me know whether you're excited to meet this person if you don't know this person. I love hearing from you in the comments, and I really do appreciate your stories as well. I love reading them. I love responding to you guys. And also subscribe if you do like content like this, because I love making content like this for you, and the more subscriptions I get, the more I can bring this stuff to you, my darlings. So yes, take care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.